Happy descation, everyone. Yes, I have no car, so I'm going to make this happen at my desk. And I'm going to discuss today turning challenges into opportunities. We're going to discuss seeing challenges as a chance to learn, focusing on what you can control versus what you can't, and reframing setbacks as redirections, asking yourself, where's the silver lining in what's going on with me that I'm just so not happy about, and celebrating your growth through adversity. So we're going to discuss that in my at my desk with the small limited time I have, but I'm going to make this happen for this little bit of time here, and let's get to it. So I am here at my desk. The house is quiet for a moment. I think I have maybe 20, 25 minutes before I have to do the dinner bell and everything starts to stir up again. The cat, the dog, the kids, the husband's going to call soon. All this stuff is going to go on. And I'm just going to take this moment rather than me doing a chore. The house needs to be straightened up. Laundry needs to be done. I have work to do. I have projects I'm working on. Yeah, but I'm going to take this time for me because no one else is going to give it to me. So I have a little bit of time here at my desk. My car is in the shop because my husband and we hit a deer. So that's being fixed now. And today is a fibromyalgia day. So I'm having the body pain all over. I have the fatigue. I feel like crap, and I think I'm getting my son's cold. So it's a challenging day today. And I said, you know what? I happened to look at like, what am I going to talk about today? And it said turning challenges into opportunities. I was like, you know what? I don't have a car to have a carcation. But guess what? I grew up in New York City where a lot of people don't have cars and we have to find a spot to do whatever. And we make do without because we have transit. So I'm going to just take this moment at my desk because it's quiet and it feels so good. It would be great for me to work right now because it's nice and quiet and I can focus. But no, I'm going to do this for me just for a couple of minutes at my desk here. The dog is not barking, cat's not meowing. So, but it's finding these ways of when you're having setbacks and you're having challenges and adversity, how can I make this work for me? How can I turn this around where it doesn't defeat me? I can find a way over it. And that is how we grow. That is how we get through the adversity in life and the challenges in life. Because guess what? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And every storm that we hit, which is we're going to hit storms. That's just life. We're going to go through storms, some of them worse than others, and we're going to come out of storms because storms don't last. They are temporary situations that come and go. Sometimes we have a 3-4 day storm. Sometimes it's only 5-10 minutes. But it doesn't last forever. And we have to figure out how to get through that storm, hunker down, make it work, try to make it right, and come out alive. So one of the things is seeing the challenges as a chance to learn. That's the first thing. That, hey, you know what? Right now, I'm going through it, but what can I do about it? I changed my career because I've had all these challenges and setbacks. And I was trying to figure out, like, well, I can't let this defeat me. I have to figure out how to get over it. How can I learn and grow from it? And that's how I migrated to where I am today, using my challenges and my adversity and my world to make something out of it, make something positive out of it, and use it to my advantage. So when you see a challenge as a chance to learn, it's no longer something that you fear. It's nothing that you're learning. You know, we all have to go through it. It's saying, like, I'm going to find a way to defeat it. But in order to defeat the challenge, you have to learn, find ways. You learn from that. You learn from those experiences. And it just makes you better. It's like building up your armor. So seeing challenges as a way, that's why, for example, businesses go into startup businesses. It's a challenge to start a business. But if you felt like, well, I'm going to fail at business because businesses fail, then now you don't see that challenge of how can I learn that I'm going to fail in business possibly, but I can learn from that and keep going. A lot of successful businesses have failed through their challenges and obstacles, but they became successful after learning from each failure. So seeing it as an opportunity to learn from is the way to growth and should not be feared and should not be avoided. It should be embraced to say, you know what, I'm going to knock this out of the park one way or the other, but it's not going to take me down. Another way that we can turn challenges into opportunities is to focus on what you can control. I couldn't control the deer just jumping in front of the car. And I can't control that I have an autoimmune disorder and I feel like garbage. I can't control getting sick. I can't control whatever situations are going on. But what I can control is how I respond to it. How am I going to perceive it? Am I going to feel like it's a dark hole that I'll never get out of? And then if I perceive it differently, if I perceive it in a way that I'm like, okay, this is happening to me, now what? It's like seeing it in a problem-solving mindset versus a complaining mindset. Like you complain and you don't do anything about it. You're just sitting there complaining about it. And you're just stuck in this space, in this black hole, in this well. You're stuck in the well. But if you see, okay, I fell down the well, but I see the light at the top of the well, you're going to see if you could find a way to climb out of that well. You might get scrapes and bruises. You might fall down. You try again. And each time you fall down trying to get out the well, you learn something new about your environment, the wall that you're trying to scale. Eventually, you'll find there's little pockets of space in that well that you can stick your foot in, your hand in to climb yourself out of that well. And that's kind of the same analogy that, that when you can focus on what you can control is how can I make this work for me? I didn't mean to be here. I didn't ask for this, but I know I have control as to how I respond to it, and I have control on what I can do next about it. And that's kind of having that understanding in order to live with the world that you can't control, because you can't control the world around you, and you sure can't control the people around you. And if you're trying to control the world and you're trying to control the people around you, you're going to be consistently mistaken and disappointed and angered and frustrated because you can't control the world around you. Oh, there goes the cat. I'm going to get bombed. And you can't control the people either. So once you learn that, there's a little bit of freedom. This weight is lifted off your shoulders on how you can respond to things that's not within your control. 3, you can reframe setbacks as redirections. There's a saying, when one door closes, another opens. Look, I have my degree in IT security, and I'm sitting here thinking I'm going full bore to take over the world and become, the chief technology officer of some company. And that didn't happen. Also, I am 2 belts away from being a black belt in karate. And that didn't work out because my body said otherwise. And I had to learn and understand what was going on with me because it is demanding with karate. And I was not able to pursue it as hard as I wanted to. And so I saw those redirects. And I had to figure out what can I do to get through it? What can I do to find a different way to go to a destination that I find will bring me peace, or it's what's going to be my future. And so, look, I've been practicing yoga for 20 years, not hardcore, but it's always been something a go-to, in Pilates. And I just fell more into the yoga. When it comes to being a chief technology officer, and the IT industry for women especially, but for everyone, men or women, is very demanding. It's not family friendly because you have to be there regardless of what's happening. If servers go down, if computers go down, you have to be there to fix it before people start walking through the door at 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. So those things didn't work out for me, but I found my way around it. And to be honest with you, I am happier for it. I am so happy to be where I am and the journey I've taken and the opportunity to help others if I can. So that door closed, and maybe that wasn't the best door for me, but I am enjoying the journey on the path that I'm on now, and I'm grateful for it. So reframing your setbacks and so forth, you can find a way to make it work for you. So I have fibromyalgia. That's a setback in my energy levels, and that's a setback in how I'm feeling. If I can move, if I'm walking like an old lady in the morning, and I've got some movement in the afternoon, and walking like an old lady in the evening. But I'm going to find a way to get around it. Now maybe I can help others, or it pulls me more into my yoga practice, which I find peaceful and relaxing for me. So reframing those setbacks is key. Another way you could turn a challenge into opportunity is ask yourself, what's the silver lining? Now, a lot of people struggle with this because they feel that, okay, something tragic has happened, something horrible has happened. There's no good that you can find out of it. And I challenge you on that. I beg to differ, because regardless of how hard and dark and tragic something is, there's always something to be grateful for. So, for example, someone dies tragically. Maybe before they died tragically, you was able to say, I love you to that person. You was able to give them a hug or a gift or something that meant a lot to you. Maybe they gave you something. You gave something to them. These are finding the things of gratitude that brings you hope and comfort. Maybe there was a big situation where it was full of regret, like your last interaction with the person who passed away was horrible. But was there something that you was able to share previously to that? Well, maybe when we first got together, it was beautiful. So then there are moments and parts of time that you cherish, that you love, that you can show as memories. Not every day is a bad memory, unless you see things that way. If you perceive everything as bad or as this is horrible, then that's going to be your experience. But if you can find gratitude in everything you do, everything you experience, you'll find that every moment, no matter how mundane it is, there's something to be grateful for. For example, I live in the mountains. We get blackouts if the wind blows to the east, I don't know, or a squirrel crosses the line. And so when that happens, we can't use our water. So when I'm washing the dishes, I'm grateful for that warm water. I'm feeling that because we had a 7-day blackout one day from a blizzard or storm. There we was dealing with cold water. I had to heat water up with the stove, with a fireplace, a firewood stove, to get warm water, to use that to wash up and to bathe and so forth, and to wash dishes and to cook. But then coming out of the faucet, cold water. When that hot water came on, our electric came back on, it was the most beautiful thing. When I washed those dishes that day, my hands, I know the water bill was high, but my hands felt so good in that warm water. It felt, and it goes, it's like, oh man, it's like you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And that's the thing. It's finding good things, gratitude, things to look at during those times. So when we did have the 7-day blackout, there was a silver lining that we had most of the materials to get through it. We knew how to get through it because we've been through it before. Because could jump back to tip number 1, see challenges as a chance to learn. So we've learned from the first blackout we had to the 20th blackout on how to deal with it. And we're grateful for it. Thank goodness we have all of our flashlights and our candles, and we have our firewood put in place, ready to go, whatever. Because we use tip 1 of seeing challenges as a chance to learn to help us to find a silver lining in tip 4. Thank goodness. So a lot of people struggle with that, but it's all in our perception. Are we going to always want to perceive things negatively? And I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm just talking about just seeing things differently. That's all. Seeing it in a way that gets you through, that gives you hope, that gives you a shred of peace, that gives you something to hold on to as you go through a storm. So when you have that, it makes it easier to get through hard times. So there's always, always, always a silver lining in everything. Whether you have to rely on the past, the present, or the future, there's always something. Lastly, we have to celebrate our growth. through the adversity. We learn and grow through our challenges. When we're learning to walk as babies, we're falling all over the place. We might even bust our lips, scrape our knees, but we're learning. And with babies, we don't stop babies from trying to learn to walk. Like, oh, no, don't fall. They fall and they fall down and then they get back up again. And that's how they learn to walk. It's no different. If you're learning to drive a car, you have to go through some scary stuff, but you're learning for the first time. Whatever you're going through, there's always something that you can grow from. Learning is growth. That's how you do grow. And so celebrate the growth. Celebrate what you've learned out of that adversity. Celebrate what you've learned out of that challenge. And if you're still in that challenge, if you're still in that storm, celebrate the things you are learning. Let's say you've had a nasty divorce. You find out your partner was the most horrific thing you could possibly have picked up off the street. But now you've learned what you don't like. You've learned a lesson like, now I know what I want and what I don't want. Celebrate that. You're going through a nasty divorce, but you've grown the better for it. That you're like, I know in the future, either this is the kind of person I'm looking for, or this is the kind of person I'm not looking for. There's always something to celebrate. So these are some things how you can turn challenges into opportunities, because there's always a way to change and reframe how we see things and how we respond to them and make it work for us. But if we're stuck in the well of the darkness, some of us choose to be in the darkness because some people are addicted to it. Some people feel better being in it. Maybe they grew up in a tough childhood that, that's what they're used to, and that's normal for them. And that's how they think. And I'm sure you've met some of those people before. But if we can catch ourselves and start to retrain our brain to see things differently, your experience will be a much different experience, and you'll find some peace in those everyday storms that we go through. So I hope you enjoyed this descation, and hopefully I'll have my car next week. We'll find out. I don't know. Might be another descation, or it might be in the bathroom-cation. I don't know where I'm going to be. Closet-cation, I don't have space for that. So I'll figure it out. But I have a question for you, and leave it in the comments. What's some lesson you have learned through your adversity? What's a lesson you've learned through your challenges, through your storm? Or did you find that you've learned some great lessons through your storms and through adversity? Did you find growth there? So leave your comments below, and I look forward to talking to you next week. And thank you for hanging out with me at my desk. I'm going to finish drinking my green tea with lemon. I'm keeping it simple because I have that nasal drip and it feels horrible. But I'm going to enjoy it before all hell breaks loose. So peace and blessings to you, and take care. But